Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, to Superman 2 with a side of popcorn. My name's John. I am one of your co-hosts today, and with me, my other co-host, my popcorn partner, some would say, it's Rose.
Hi.
Rose,
What's
how you
up,
doing?
guys?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
How are you feeling? This is episode 2 of our season of Superman when it comes to the side of popcorn.
Look, I'm always impressed when we make it to a part 2 of anything.
It's hard work, but yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, like we've gotten better over the years at making it to part 2.
Yeah.
I think I'll be very happy when we make it to season 2 because, like, first season, pretty solid.
First season's pretty solid. It's always that.
First season is definitely doable. You will see growth through this podcast.
100% you'll see growth. We're starting at ground zero again since it's been a while since we've done a podcast.
So long.
But if you didn't know, we get together every other week to come just hang out, talk about movies, and just how we feel about them. The whole how we feel. We have ideas. What could have been better? What could have been worse? Just kind of a whole review, if you will, but just light on the review.
Yeah.
Light on the review. If you would like to go that little bit extra mile and help out CouchCapades, thank you so much for subscribing and doing the CouchCapades membership, where you can actually do the watch along with us as we do every single Superman movie. It is insane. We're on this couch. If you can't see, obviously, if you
watching the TV that's behind us.
If you're an audio listener, we have a TV behind us. So thank you so much if you do support us. If not, hey, don't worry about it. Wherever you're listening to it, whether it's on YouTube, any of your favorite podcast service, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us what you think of Superman 2 and what other seasons we should do with a side of popcorn. We're always building that list.
What other kinds of movies? I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed DC and Marvel with us.
Yes.
But like, what else?
80s horror.
What kind of musicals would you like to see?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because John has not seen very many.
Yeah, this is going to be a podcast that we really want to go after different genres. Every season's going to be a different genre, I think is the best way to.
Or there will be something connecting them. There will be a connecting thread.
Yes. So
and
let us know.
I've already thought of a weird one.
Oh,
that I'm excited to see if you figure out what the thread is.
Oh, you know what? I would love. we can do this on the fly right now.
Yeah.
I would love for us to do that. Like, this is Rose's season, and I don't know anything about these movies.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to let you all know we're watching these movies because we want you to enjoy them with us. That's why we're doing every other week. You get to take the time to watch the movie as well. You do or have the membership. You can watch along with us. If not, no big deal. Yeah. But I would love to like do this where, hey, this is Rose's mystery season.
Yes.
And you just choose the thread. And I don't know the thread, and I have to see like through the podcast, like, when do I register the thread? It'll probably be the last episode. How John works, it'll probably be the last episode. Yeah. But that'll be fun. I'm actually 100% down with that. So again, everyone, thank you so much. We appreciate everything you do and all the, I guess, engagement on all the podcast services, social media, and all that fun stuff with CouchCapades and the podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, and a heads up, if you do support us on YouTube with the membership, the watch-alongs are just our reactions.
Yes.
You have to get the movie on your own so that you can play it at the same time as we say start. Start.
Yeah, exactly. We'll cut in a couple scenes. That way you know where you're at comparative to us. But
for copyright purposes, we can't show the movie.
We're just gotta protect us.
Yeah.
Gotta protect us. So with that, with the housekeeping and all that stuff out of the way, let us fly into Superman 2. Superman 2 I had my screen up and I lost it. Superman 2 came out in 1980, clocked in at 2 hours and 7 minutes, rated PG, directed by Richard Donner and replaced by Richard Lester.
Yes.
Starring Gene Hackman, top billing, Christopher Reeve, and then Margot Kidder. I was about to say Margot Robbie, and I'm like, that is not correct. Is it Margot or is it Margaret?
Margot.
Okay. Thank you. Margot Robbie. I think I said Margaret during our watch along one time. I was like, I don't think that's right.
If so, I didn't catch it.
No one caught it. So, Rose, where do you want to start with this? I'm going to ask you just do we want to give our ratings right now or overview? Let's overview.
Let's do some overview.
Okay, I'm
down. You have a synopsis of the movie?
Oh, you know what?
You were supposed to. There's one right there on IMDb where you were.
I know. I'm closing different windows. I need a new computer. Okay, where's the synopsis of that? Your top? Is it really the top?
Like right there.
Oh, there you go. Superman agrees to sacrifice his powers to start a relationship with Lois Lane, unaware that 3 Kryptonian criminals he inadvertently released are conquering Earth.
I wouldn't say that he released them.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He inadvertently released them. I mean.
Also, isn't that just like the whole movie?
Yeah, I literally just, hey, thanks for coming to a side of popcorn.
No, we're still giving our thoughts. We're still giving our thoughts. This was supposed to be the spoiler-free part of the movie. Of the podcast.
Wait, yeah, IMDb, why is that?
It starts off with like the big plot point.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh,
so I was not expecting that. Like John said, the director, Richard Donner, he's the one who directed the first Superman. He was replaced because of creative differences. So he shot most of Superman 2.
Yeah.
And one thing that I thought was kind of cool, I found out in the trivia, is that Gene Hackman, the top billing, because they couldn't afford it. They didn't have that Marlon Brando money anymore.
No one has that Marlon Brando.
Gene Hackman did not return for reshoots. So all of his shots were done by Donner.
Okay. Here we go. Maybe this one might work better. I'm just reading this off the cuff.
No.
Well, let's find out. The film's plot features the arrival of General Zod and his comrades to Earth, following their release from the planet, from the Phantom Zone, a prison that had been made by the people of Krypton. Zod seeks revenge for imprisonment by pursuing the planet's last son, Kal-El, alias Superman. As a result, Kal-El, who had unknowingly freed them, must now face threats from his long-dead home planet. Zod also allies with Lex Luthor, who still aspires to world domination. The hero also faces an internal conflict, torn between his duties as Earth's hero and his desires to live among them solely as Clark Kent, and especially with his love interest, Lois Lane. That one was that's a better one.
That's such a better.
This was freaking Wikipedia. I'm gonna do that from now on.
Oh yeah, Wikipedia has good stuff. Don't use it for your school papers, but
holy shit.
You just need some quick info. Wikipedia.
Spoil the hell out of that.
Seriously.
I mean, also it was 1980. If you haven't seen it, sorry, but
hopefully
you stopped and you're like, oh, I need to go watch that
40 some odd years ago.
Okay. But yeah, you're right. It's interesting that Gene Hackman did all of his shots, all of his photography with Donner, and then Richard Lester took over.
So Superman 1 and 2 were actually filmed at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they made it through the editing. I'm not sure how that went down, because Richard Donner was the only one who dealt with Superman, from what I understand.
Okay.
But then Superman 2, he's gone.
Quick side tangent. Sure. Do you know that Richard Donner and actually his wife is who produced the original X-Men movies with Lauren Donner? That's his wife.
That's cool.
So he's got a very deep connection to superhero movies, which is actually very, very cool.
Comic book movies.
Okay. Rose.
Yes?
What did you think of Superman 2? Not the Richard Donner cut. That's coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this was the theatrical
version. How nasty do you want to get? How?
Oh, it was rough. It was so rough.
Tell me why it was rough.
Everything. The acting was even more over the top than Superman 1.
All right.
The special effects were worse.
Mm-hmm.
The miniatures were amazing.
The miniatures were, always.
Minus the person.
Oh my God, that person was great.
They had a miniature of a person. You could tell it was a miniature. But yeah, they were trying to do the same amount with a lower budget.
I was actually going to look that up right now.
And I feel like the pacing was slightly better than Superman, but the story was so much worse.
Okay. Superman 2 had a production budget of $54 million and it grossed $216. So
yeah, people were hungry for it.
People came and showed up for it.
Yeah. Definitely not as good as the first one.
Definitely not as good as the first one. Okay.
How about you? What did you think?
Okay. how to say that. I'm just going to say it as I said it in the watch along. Once I put the filter of Blues Brothers on and kind of looked at this as a movie as more of a comedy, a superhero comedy, then I enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be I'm not going to be super critical about it, but if I want to like just talk about it, the hokiness goes up to 11.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm just like, there was a charm to the hokiness in Superman 1. The who's got me or I've got you. Who's got
You've got me. Who's got you?
There was no like quick quippy one-liners.
Yeah.
I think,
like they tried, but it just wasn't there.
I think the most one-liner that was kind of like endearing or just like, oh, that felt good, was then you'll have one hell of a story if Lois is wrong.
Oh yeah.
I think that's probably the one line that I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense and that kind of like fit in that whole realm of Superman that we established in the first one. That being said, yes, you're right. The graphics, like I don't. It's not a spoiler, but when you meet Zod, Non, and Ursa, and they're flying on the moon, you can see them like
grabbing the wires,
and then also like their clothes are moving.
Yeah,
which I know is nitpicky because we're talking about a movie that was filmed in 1977 or 78, but there's little things that I'm like. All right, guys, come on.
Yeah, you could have done better.
There's no error. There's nothing that would make anything flat. Yeah. Why are we doing that?
I feel like they were trying, and like for the time, I don't think that they did terrible.
Again, when we put the lenses on,
but watching it today is hilarious.
It's hilarious. Looking at it from like 1980, and I was born in 86, and looking at it from a kid's point of view, I'm like, oh man, this is badass. Like. How cool it is to see people mostly fly, even though it was very like stilted and like just the turning of the flying was ridiculous. And I don't understand how, not even the wires, but we just didn't speed up their turn.
Yeah.
Like it all just seemed like they were all laying on like a table and they just removed the table. And then they just turned the table was on wheels. And so they just turned.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And that's probably what they did. Like, I'm sure there's some blue screen at the time or green screen or whatever it was. And they removed it or did that layering effect with film.
Yeah.
But like, there's so much that could have been better about this movie. And again, when I put the hokiness on of Blues Brothers, I'm like, man, this movie was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the pacing's actually a lot better when you look at it from a comedy standpoint.
If you look at it from a comedy standpoint, it's not terrible.
No. Looking at it from a superhero standpoint,
and looking at it with the lens of, it's 2025. We've come so far in film.
And that's kind of a fun triumph, if you will.
It is.
Because it's changed so much, not even with special effects and acting, but just the pacing of stories now and how they actually work. But yeah, I want to like this movie more, but it's not getting there. Like again, and it's very interesting to be split with the 80s version idea and then the 2025 version and then going superhero to comedy. And like, I would grade it higher as a comedy because it got so slapsticky and about it that I'm like, okay, I have to go along the ride that route and look at it from that point of view. But I actually don't know how to grade this.
Okay. So our rating system, as a quick refresher, the CouchCapades rating system, it's 1 through 10. You can have half points.
Yes.
We've got 1 is actively harmful to society. 2 is toxic or dreadful. 3 is awful. 4 is bad. 5 is meh or indifferent. 6 is okay or fine. 7 is good. 8 is great / a bona fide good time.
Bona fide.
9 is amazing, fantastic, and brilliant. 10 is a masterpiece or a shining star for society. It is not perfect.
Not perfect.
It's a masterpiece or a shining star for society.
Everything's going to have some sort of flaw.
Yeah.
So nothing is perfect. That's how we're looking at this.
Not looking for perfection, looking for, is it that masterpiece, that chef's kiss?
Where are you putting this, bad boy?
Oh, I'm gonna have you go first.
All right, I'll get the internet pissed off at me. I'm okay. 5.5.
Oh,
I'm indifferent on this one, and I'm scared because I do know the takes of 3 and 4, and we might be in like awful and toxic when it comes to 3 and 4. Like,
that's okay. I'm sorry.
And I was like, it's meh, it's indifferent, but it's like it's okay. Like that's how I say it. Like it's not the best thing. You can see again what they were trying to do, but the fact that they just didn't, and like it just, it was again the 70s and 80s. There's that hokiness you have to really kind of factor in, even when it comes to like Schwarzenegger movies. Ghostbusters is very hokey, and very like, and I put that lens on a lot of things because I have to factor that in. But even so, like I enjoyed it, but the pacing was just weird. Yeah. There was a lot of just happenstance and serendipity, which happens. I get it.
Yeah.
But this one just seemed like so much more. And just, can we talk about that real fast? I think we can probably talk about it just real fast. Like, how fast does Superman fly?
Okay, that's going to get into spoilers.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I want to get into that.
That's going to get into spoilers.
Okay, then I'll let you say your rating. What's your rating?
4.
Oh, you thought this was oh, you were in a you're
okay
in a rough.
So I walked away from this movie. First instinct was, this is bad.
Okay.
You have talked me up because I was just looking at it from a 2025 lens. With the lens of it was the late 70s to 80s. That'll bump me up to a 5.
Oh, okay.
So like with the
okay,
let's gentle this.
Yeah, and it's not a bad way, but it's just again, I'm with you.
Let's adjust the expectations.
Looking at it from a lens, like the 2025 lens, which is always like we have the two lenses. Yeah, this movie's not good at all.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it's a 4. It is straight up a 4. If you really look at it and you're like, all right, the only good things are, and we'll get to it later. Like that's our thing. We'll do the good things, the bad things. Yeah. You've got some good acting. You've got some fun little bits, and I'm like, all right, I really did enjoy that. But it doesn't hold a candle to Superman 1, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's close, but Superman 1's so much better.
Yeah.
But this, again, the slapsticky got to me too much, and so that's when I had to literally go, it's a comedy.
Yeah. And also just the way that the destruction was just kind of hit wrong for me.
Fair.
Okay, so with that said, we're now going to go into spoilers. So if you have not watched this and you just wanted our overall opinions, there they are. Go watch the movie, become a member on YouTube, watch our watch along, and then come back and we're going to get into spoilers. So John, you were talking about how fast.
Oh my God, you did that so very like, all right, we're going to do this. Now, John, talk to me about this. And I'm like, all right, interviewer, Jesus Christ.
Talk to me about how fast Superman flies.
Okay, so let's start this out.
This is at the beginning of the movie, guys.
All right, this was about 18 minutes of an intro. You get all that stuff. I'm about to break this shit down, and I might actually go scene by scene. You don't know. Uncle John's kind of upset. So here we go. Let's talk about first off, why the shit was the montage at the very beginning so long? We saw Superman 1 in the montage of Superman 2.
We did.
The intro
minus the Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando did not effing show up in this movie.
No,
or he would have made $1 million.
They didn't have that kind of money.
But it was just like, all right. And I love the best part about all of this is that, they switched Marlon Brando for his mother, Kara. And then down the road.
I thought she was Laura.
It is Laura. I'm sorry. Kara is his nephew. That's or his cousin.
His cousin.
Yes.
His nephew.
Nephew. Sorry. No.
She is his cousin.
Sorry. I am so upsetty spaghetti.
Yeah.
Just the intro, and I'm like, I think we're like 6 minutes into this watching this. I'm like, we're still seeing like the major points of like.
Yes.
It was almost like previously on Superman, and I'm
like in the slowest way possible.
Right.
Like there was no sense of urgency.
Mm-mm.
They didn't speed up any of the cuts.
Mm-mm.
They didn't they weren't trying to get to the movie. Like they knew that it was a little bit of a stinker and they were just like, let's keep the audience here. If we get this watch time up, we're going to get paid. This is a time before watch time.
I was going to say, there was no such thing as watch time.
There's no such thing. You just bought a ticket to go to the theater. They didn't even have times for the theater yet, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, they had theater times. I was shocked that they didn't show Jonathan dying like for an 18th time in that intro. But after that intro, you see Clark walk into the Daily Planet, and you're like, okay.
And he's just ignored.
It's Clark. It's Christopher Reeve doing his thing.
It's very much establishing he's Clark Kent.
He's Clark Kent.
Nobody cares about Clark Kent.
And then all of a sudden, he goes into Perry's office, and Perry's like, almost like, where have you been? Have you been watching TV? And Clark's like, well, actually, I don't really like TV.
I like to read.
I like to read. I'm like, that's fine. I don't have a problem with reading. And he starts hearing people talk about the attack on the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, the terrorist attack
in Paris. And you're like, one, and I know this isn't established until Superman Returns. This is one of the greatest things to ever establish, in my opinion, is his super hearing, where he hears everything.
I mean, it's hinted at before, like in some of the series and everything.
Yeah, like, but in this movie though, like it's almost like he didn't use it. He doesn't have it.
Yeah,
it was like, very. Oh, it was even powers. Holy shit!
It was even brought in the first one when Lex was talking to him. Just you're hearing a sound that only dogs can hear.
Fudge, you're right.
Like, they have talked about his hearing.
Why doesn't he hear everything? And then focus in. How did he miss?
Where was he? What did he go to this Fortress of Solitude for 2 weeks? Because they were just like, we haven't seen you in 12 days.
Oh, I missed that. I full on missed that. Dude.
Yeah, no, it was like 12 days.
Holy shit.
And it's just like, how long has this terrorist attack been going?
Okay, so there's this terrorist attack going on.
But seriously, how long has this terrorist attack
how long has this been going? Because
they have hostages. They've taken the Eiffel Tower.
As soon as like the Daily Planet heard about this terrorist attack, Perry threw Lois on the Concorde flight to Paris, which 8 hours. Hold on, let's look that up. How long is the Concorde flight?
It's not around anymore.
How long is the Concorde? Oops.
But yeah, I know that the Concorde is faster than a normal airplane. From Texas to Paris, it was about 10 hours. What was this?
A typical Concorde flight from London to New York took around 3.5 hours.
Okay, so 3.5 to 4 hours.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I thought it was like
that's better.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Why she was able to get to this is at least
London. But it's 8 hours from New York to London.
Yeah.
Okay.
Compared to roughly 8 hours on a subsonic flight. So what a normal flight would be. Flight. Okay, that makes a little more sense now. But I was just like, all right, we're going to throw Lois on a plane, get her over to Paris, and she's going to just meander.
She doesn't speak French.
She doesn't speak French.
But magically, everybody speaks English.
Okay, filmed for the United States. I followed the
that was a thing.
That was the thing.
That was a thing. That was very much a product of the time.
So we get there.
It's been within our lifetime that they have been like, okay, let's put the language
respect the languages
of this country in here.
But then we get to Clark going, I have to go save Lois. Or Superman going, I have to go save Lois.
Don't even care about the hostages that they've taken. It's just Lois.
So he gets down and runs out the Daily Planet and does his, I'll call it, magical girl transformation.
It
is. Which this is why I haven't really had you watch it. I want to watch it. Is my friend Superman or something like that, the Max cartoon.
Okay.
He actually does a magical girl transformation. It's freaking great, and it's Jack Quaid plays Clark. So I mean, it has everything we need, and we just haven't sat down to watch it. But yeah, he does this magical.
That might be a bonus episode.
That might be a bonus episode.
Might be a bonus episode.
Yeah, my friend Superman or something like that. It's an animated on Max, and it's Jack Quaid plays Superman, and it's a magical girl transformation.
That's amazing.
But
I am down.
So Superman flies.
Yes, he flies across the U.S.
Yeah. Where we assume.
I'm sorry. He flies across he's flying over land, and it looks like Kansas.
So we assume. Hold on. We can all assume. Let's take reality out for a second. Let's place where we think Metropolis actually is. New York. It's New York. We see the Twin Towers, which gets really weird. It's New York. So I'm not going to make the jokes I want to.
No.
That's bad. But it's New York. I'm with you. Why the shit is he flying over land when he should be going like east? ocean.
Yeah. No, they just grabbed some of his flying scenes from the first one
and just let him
when
go.
he was going literally across the U.S. to stop the rockets.
The rockets.
Where it made sense for him to be over land.
But I thought...
Yeah.
I didn't think like Superman flew like he can go supersonic.
Yeah. But he didn't.
But yeah, this bitch turned the world, reverse time. You cannot tell me he did not get to France in almost an instant if he really wanted to. It was just set up, and I get it.
Up, out,
yeah, go up and then back down.
Space,
it's
fine. Down.
And I get it. I get it. We need setup. We need to see Lois get into trouble and do all this stuff. And I get it. I'm not
get all greasy. Not her dress, just her hands.
Her face and her hands. That was great. And then she gets up and like gets underneath a freaking elevator and on the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And like there's so much that happens that you're just kind of like, I think Superman's walking.
Yeah.
I think he's actually like speed walking.
He's just speed walking. He's walking at the speed of like a marathon runner.
I was so fascinating. And then he gets there, he saves the day. That's perfectly fine. And he takes this hydrogen bomb because somehow these French terrorists got a hydrogen bomb. One of those terrorists, I believe, was Uncle Dursley from the Harry Potter movies.
He might have been.
I think that was that man. They just had like 2 lines.
Yeah.
But Superman takes this bomb, takes it out into space, and it blows up, which then happens like serendipitous.
Did you call him Professor Dursley?
Did I? I thought I said Mr. I might have said Professor Dursley.
Uncle Vernon.
Uncle Vernon.
Yeah. Vernon Dursley.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. If I said it wrong, thank you for correcting me. Yeah, Vernon Dursley.
You probably said it right. I'm crazy. It's okay.
Now I'm going to get stuck on that.
Sorry.
But yeah, the whole idea.
Whole elevator.
The whole elevator's up. And then the reason that we got this like 22-minute intro was to see that Zod, Ursa, and Non got put into the Phantom Zone.
Non was definitely the best.
These 3, which video watchers, you can see all 3 of them. We got it going on in the background. Little fuzzy, but we got everyone going on in the background. The main reason you got to see them is because they're the bad guys of this movie. That's perfectly fine. I don't have an issue with that. This hydrogen bomb opened. I don't know why the Kryptonian planet, who is so advanced, didn't think past hydrogen. A hydrogen bomb will break the Phantom Zone in space. And so they get out of the Phantom Zone, and that's that.
And they're just like, hey, there's a moon. Let's start at this moon. And also they can breathe in space.
Well, that one I don't care about.
Yeah.
That one is one I can actually like. Yeah. I'm not too worried.
One is, they're aliens. It's, they're close enough to Earth.
Yeah.
Superman breathes in space all the time.
Yeah. That was the only one that I'm like, all right, that doesn't bother me one bit. And I kind of get it.
And plus, it was the 70s. Like, that happened all the time.
Yeah. So it's so like almost infuriating just how, oopsie poopsies. Like this movie is all, oopsie poopsies.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's how it works. And then somewhere along the line, Lex gets out of prison thanks to Miss Tessmacher.
He ends up, like the picture behind us, they end up in the Fortress of Solitude. Everybody's going to the Fortress of Solitude.
I've been to the Fortress of Solitude.
This movie, everybody's going.
And
it's easy to get to.
But it's fascinating, these little bits of almost vignettes of a movie that makes sense. And this is probably my biggest issue. And I call movies out with this. Like there's so many different pieces to a movie that they just didn't have the puzzle right to make it a decent movie or a good movie. Let me say good movie.
Yeah.
Most movies are decent unless we know we're going into trash.
Yeah.
I want to be lean on the positive side like most movies.
We try to.
But
this one
was just like crazy because after that they go to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Clark and Lois. Go to Niagara Falls. Clark's in love with Lois. We don't know what they're doing though.
Oh, they're reporting on a newlywed scam. They're trying to get the scoop.
Dog, I don't know how you got that. I didn't hear that.
They had a whole conversation about it. That's why Perry was going to call and talk and check on them.
Holy shit. I remember that part.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are you going?
Yeah, they're there for work.
Okay, I figured they were there for work because they said they were posing as newlyweds.
It's a newlywed scam.
Holy shit.
They're trying to break open this racket and like expose it. They're going to do a big expose. It's not going to get Lois a Pulitzer, but.
Oh, let's talk about that real fast. Let's rewind. Because first,
Lois was under the elevator.
Under the elevator, she was spelling out
Nobel Prize.
Big N, little O. And I'm like, the hell are you doing? I mean, I respect journalism. I respect like good journalism, and that's also
just the character of Lois Lane. Like she's always been bad at spelling.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's just all right. We go for Nobel Prize.
Yeah,
and then one scene later, she's like, "Oh, this isn't going to win me a Pulitzer." And Rose and I even like, wouldn't you go after a Pulitzer first?
Yeah, with the Nobel Prize, we were both just like, shouldn't she be getting a Pulitzer?
And I'm sure there's a Nobel Prize in journalism. I don't know. I didn't look that up. But the Pulitzer's like Pulitzer winning.
Yeah, and
Lois Lane.
Pulitzer winning Lois Lane. Like that's the thing. That's part of her character again.
But she's gonna win a Nobel Prize on one set, and then she's gonna win a Pulitzer on another, trying to defeat a newlywed racket in Niagara Falls.
The Canadian side of Niagara Falls. For whatever reason.
Oh,
because it was the 70s and you could easily go to Canada.
We have changed so much in 40 years.
Yes.
50 years, maybe. But yeah, that's the start of Lois like really stumbling into the concept that Clark is Superman. And I mean that in the meanest way I can possibly mean it.
She stumbles in and she's so sure of it. And then
what was it?
He tried so hard to just let her die.
Oh, no. That's what it was. He was taking off his glasses because the Niagara Falls, and they made him foggy. Steam. And he's like, don't look at my eyes.
And she's like,
I see you.
I see your eyes.
Let's be honest. Christopher Reeve, dreamy eyes, though.
Oh,
dog has dreamy eyes.
Very dreamy.
Rest in peace. But yeah, it was just all these weird, again, happenstance, serendipitous ideas of he actually took off his glasses. Lois is cleaning them, and they just
and then like she realizes how tall he is,
and then some kid being a jackass jumps off the Niagara Falls.
Off.
I don't give a damn. He jumped, and then Clark's going to go get something to eat for Lois.
Yeah, she wants a hot dog,
and so he becomes Superman, does the magical girl transformation again, and then flies off, catches this kid.
Another magical girl transformation back
as Clark.
To Clark.
And Lois is just like,
Clark's not around. Clark's never around when Superman is around.
And I know that I know people, and I'm trying not to be mean. Like, I know we sound mean. There is, I get the endearment of that because it's goofy as hell, but it's also very sweet that like Lois, and they say she's one-tracked mind, that he's right in front of her. But she doesn't see him.
She's so focused on Superman and she never really looks at Clark. And it's just a lot of different things. And like, honestly, he does a worse job in this movie.
Thank you.
About slouching.
Yes. I was noticing that.
But I mean, it's still like, okay, he really does take steps to not be able to be recognized.
Yeah. He was a lot more barrel chested and like standing up. Every now and then he would like slouch a little bit, but it wasn't.
It's if he could remember.
Yeah. But there was never the true mild mannerness of Clark. Like there were some times where like, again, a lot of the slapstick of like him crushing his thumb, but not showing Lois.
Yeah.
Or any of that stuff. But then
should have broken the machine.
We should have broken the machine. There's a lot of things where we were like, wait, that shouldn't have happened that way. And then she tries to kill herself. I'm so sure that Clark Kent is Superman that I'm going to throw myself into the rapids of Niagara Falls. And either A, you're going to be Superman, or B, you're going to have the best headline for a news story.
I'm just like, I don't think that that's going to be the best headline.
Crazy woman thinks mild mannered reporter is Superman, dies. Got you, dog. That whole sequence was so funny because like it really felt like, oh man, she's just gonna die.
Yeah, and like he's really doing his best.
Yeah.
To show that he is not Superman.
He's not Superman. And
like, he's trying so hard while also trying to save her life.
Save her with his laser vision and like helps with a branch. She gets into an alcove and then he falls in the water and they're like, oh, she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought you were Superman. Yeah. Oh no. And then just for this whole thing to just the culmination of this whole Niagara Falls sequence is Lois just almost in tears that she was a dumbass. And then Clark having to go get a brush for Lois. He tripping on a pink bearskin rug and his hand goes into a fire pit and his hand's not burnt to a crisp. And she goes, you are Superman. And I'm like,
and he just gives up.
He's like, I'm done, man. I don't know what the hell.
Oh, you're right.
Let me take off my glasses and barrel out my chest more. He's like, hi, Lois. I am Superman. You want to come with me to my place? And you're like, sexually charged, maybe? I don't know what's going on right now.
Yes.
Oh my God. I was just so like that whole sequence broke me.
Yeah.
That was the sequence when I was like, comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yeah, this has to be a comedy. Has to be a comedy.
And like I don't
And then he's just like, hey, how about you come back to my place? And then like the next scene, he very clearly says, oh no, I live about 3 blocks from you. And I'm just like,
meaning the Fortress of Solitude, but then it was like, no, I live about 3 blocks from you. And I'm like, that's kind of weird to say too, Clark. I'm going to be honest with you. And now let's bring in Zod, Ursa, and Non, and just the straight hokiness.
Oh, they are just having the time of their life. And I wish that Zod had turned into the goofiness of what that role could have been.
Oh my God. It was.
But he's just trying to be so serious about it.
And
which
God bless Terrence Stamp. God bless that man.
Yes.
I think we can both agree.
He's trying so hard, despite his two-tone makeup.
Like I wear makeup on stream and in a podcast. I try and keep everything balanced. I'm a little splotchy, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Rosacea is a thing.
Rosacea is a thing. That's insane how like powdered and white Terrence Stamp's face was, but then his neck was perfectly fine. I was like, all right, dog.
But then like they always made sure to have orange circles under his eyes. And I'm just like, guys, I know it was the 70s, but we could have done better.
Can we both agree? And you said it at the top of the podcast. Non was the best character. That man right there, again, for video watchers.
Yes.
That one,
giant of a man.
That giant of a man.
In
elevator boots. Hell yes. Hell to the freaking yes, elevator boots.
Oh, he did an amazing job.
That man was just a big puppy who got powers.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was.
He happened to fall in with Zod. I'm sure there's a better backstory.
I'm sure there's a better story, but yeah.
But it was just like, oh, he ended up with the wrong crowd, and now he's just
he's the grunt.
He's doing what he was told to do. Like, of everybody, he probably could have been saved, but like,
yeah, he was the puppy grunt muscle.
Yes,
and Ursa was just collecting patches. Every person she fought, she grabbed their patch of
their patch, their pin,
the sheriff's badge of East Houston. That was weird. Who on the moon? They were talking about where are you from? Houston. We must go to Houston.
We must go to Planet Houston.
This must be Planet Houston. You're like, that was the other like icing on the cake of comedy. Yeah. And I understand. Again, you don't know. They told you you're going to Houston. Then you land on the planet. It has to be Houston. Sure. I follow the logic, but just how hardcore Terrence Stamp played Zod.
Oh, yes.
With the juxtaposition of Non and the midpoint that is Ursa.
Yeah.
It was fascinating.
Like, it was definitely a better playing trio than Lex, Miss Tessmacher, and Otis.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there was a better, on God's honest truth, there was a better balance.
There was a better balance there.
Yeah. There wasn't just the smart, the dumb, and the blonde. It was the smart, the muscle, and the mid. And not in a bad way, but just like the mid tier or mid person of like that's balance. The midpoint, the balance point, I think might be the better call. But it's just, it got so crazy that here's these Kryptonians and somehow Zod's just understanding like, oh, we are next to this red sun. This red sun is giving us powers. That's what's happening. And it's so fast on the like, oh, we understand this, we understand that. And then Lex is there again.
Like, I think the Red Sun was this movie's, this is kryptonite. Superman isn't going to be able to stand the kryptonite from the first movie. Like, that was kind of the same jump.
Yeah. Yeah, I can follow that logic there. I'm with you. Like, it's just, we are next to this red sun. We will go rule this planet. And that's all Terrence Stamp pretty much said through this whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, you will bow to Zod. And you're like, I mean, yeah, badass, but still. It's just, they start trying to find who is in charge. So they attack Houston.
Yes.
And there's
Houston's
a 4-star general.
Like, no.
That's like, I only answer to the president of the United States. And the only time Zod raises his voice minus screaming is, he will answer to me. And you're like, okay. All right, I got you. Cool.
Okay.
Again, Lex is there.
You're getting your paycheck.
Lex is learning about Zod and understanding about Kryptonians.
Yeah.
And he got out of jail with Miss Tessmacher, like we said. And he found the Fortress of Solitude because he had a machine. Somehow he got a machine in there that had start seeing the blips of Superman keep on going north. He had a radar on him. All of this is happening. Uh-huh. What are Superman and Lois doing, Rose?
Oh, they're boning.
They're boning.
But before they can, Superman has to become human. And I'm just there like, they didn't even talk about if they want a future together. He's just assuming that they're going to spend the rest of eternity together.
God.
And I'm like, there needs to be some kind of courtship here. Like, you had 1.5 movies.
Yeah. Like, there needs to be a little more pizzazz.
And I do understand the amount of sexual tension that was in the first
100%. It palpable. You can cut it with a knife. But yeah, it was just all the stuff with Zod's going on, and I know we were kind of mixing up the timeline a little bit, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you're right. Like let's act out a scene, Russ. We're doing this right now.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Lois, I love you, but
I love you too.
But I think I need to be a human, so you get all of me.
Are you sure you want to give up all of that for me?
Well, do you love me?
I love you.
Would you be okay if I did that? Because I do want to give it all up for you.
You would do that for me?
Yes, I would. Yes.
Oh, I love
you. We're going to make this a bit, by the way. Like, what could have been done better? I'm looking at you, Twilight. But no, there was no conversation to that one.
No.
And Clark is talking to his Crystal Mom.
They didn't even have that conversation first. Mm-mm. He just went and talked to Crystal Mom. It was a good one.
That was a good one. Thank you so much.
And he's just like, Mom, I met a girl.
I love her.
She loves me. We're going to be together. I need to be human.
I want to be human. And Mom's like, are you sure? You can't take this back. And you're like, yeah. And Lois is in the background of the freaking Fortress of Solitude.
And she's just like, oh, he loves me.
Can I be a douche?
Sure.
Do you mind if I be a douche? I know I'm coming off that way.
I'm already there. So please join me.
I am world-renowned reporter Lois effing Lane watching Superman give up his powers for me.
Yes.
Even though I am the one that wrote the article, I spent a night with Superman, and he has helped the world over. But I'm not going to stop this person from giving up his powers. And granted, I understand you do crazy stuff for love.
Yeah,
you do. Hi, welcome to this podcast. But yes, there's a point when you have to go. The sum of the all is greater than the sum of me.
Yeah.
Of the sum of the one. I don't remember. I'm butchering that one, but Lois.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the
few.
We're going to watch that movie sometime.
Okay, that's fine. Like, Lois Lane is nothing compared to the world and the protector of the world.
But again, I'm not trying to be a Superman apologist here. This movie was made in the late 70s, early 80s.
And love was going around. Love
was going around. Also, Lois Lane, for all that she is a crackpot reporter and is doing all of this, she still talks about wanting to just marry Superman and just be his wife.
Yeah.
Like, that's what she's talking about. The very much conformative, this is what she's going to be. Like, there's no push to keep on being Lois Lane after she's married, which is very strange because this is the only person that I can see her doing that with.
Yeah.
And then Clark Kal-El makes the decision on his own for both of them.
For both of them. There's no conversation.
The world.
Yes.
And like, it's very much those gender norms, like very conservative. Like, again, it's very much of the time.
Of the time, 100%, yes.
But like, this could have been such a beautiful moment of, hey, I'm thinking about giving everything up for you, but like, there was no conflict.
There's a cost to this.
There was no conflict for the cost. Like, there was no inner reflection. There was no outer discussion. Like, there was nothing. It was just, I want to do her.
Yeah. I love that you brought this up too, because it's again insane that, and maybe it's just because you and I obviously talk all the effing time, but yeah, there would have been a nice. There was no weight to that decision. And
like, there wasn't even the concept of, I'm going to be human. I'm going to be able to be hurt. I'm going to feel cold. Going to.
Crystal Mom said that.
But there was no actual intake of that.
Right. Thank you. I want to make sure before anyone gets on it. Like, Crystal Mom said that. Crystal Mom's like, you're going to be able to feel like them. You'll be able to hurt. You'll be hurt by them.
Yeah.
And like all your powers, everything that kind of makes you, gone. And again, I love the duality of Clark and Kal-El. I really, really do. But the fact that this decision was made so nonchalantly was a weird slap in the face. Like, sure, superheroes die to protect a lot of things. Sure. Looking at you, Endgame, everyone cried, but the sacrifice made sense.
Oh, Endgame.
Endgame, yeah. Avengers Endgame, yeah. Looking at you. Like, that concept made so much more sense. Or I am going to give up my life to bring back someone I love.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. This was literally, I'm giving up my superpowers to bone.
Yeah.
Like.
That was the whole thing.
I was just like, wow,
and I'm just
insane.
Like, could we get like a psychiatrist on set? Like, anybody to like read this script and be like,
psychologist.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we should like show a little more here. Like, I have no idea if there was ever more in the comics, especially comics of the time.
I don't know.
If like there might have been a little more introspection or anything like that. Like, that might have been more of a late 80s to 90s thing. I don't know.
It was just weird that it was like, I love that you said that too. Like, I'm Superman. I'm the man. I'm going to make this decision.
Yeah.
And then not really think about it. Because here's where we're going to go with this.
Sure.
After they bone, they decide to go back to New York, Metropolis.
Yes.
And they stop at a
diner.
And Clark gets the shit beaten out of him. I don't know how much time has passed. I'm going to assume maybe 12 effing hours. That's being very generous.
They walked somehow from the Fortress of Solitude because they didn't have any kind of transportation getting there.
And then they pulled up with a car.
Yeah.
And then he got his ass beat at this diner. And that's when he goes, literally has the introspection of, oh shit, I made a mistake. And I'm like.
And also that's when Lois says, I just want the man that I fell in love with. And it's just like, oh, so you really don't love Clark.
You don't like Clark.
You never loved Clark.
Yeah, it was always Superman.
It was always Superman.
Yeah.
And like, now he's not Superman. So now you're just like.
And so Clark walks back to the Fortress of Solitude. And we'll get to that. And just
Lois makes her way to Metropolis.
It's just fascinating to see that, like, just again, happenstance stuff. Like during that Fortress of Solitude session, like Lois finds the green crystal from the first movie, which is pretty much the crux. The crux that fixes everything.
Yes, somehow.
And it's
I'm still not sure how.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And
it's just like, this is the one last remaining crystal. I can reverse everything with this.
So it's funny that after that, then it just kind of I'm going to speed run everything, but it kind of speed runs itself. Lex finds Zod and everyone at the White House. He wants Australia because he's the only person that knows where the Fortress of Solitude is, because he was at the fortress earlier.
And then instead of going to the fortress, he goes to the Daily Planet
to get Lois. And then all of a sudden, Clark is back as Kal-El Superman.
Yeah.
They have a huge fight, which, again, the miniatures in that fight, fantastic. Love that.
Yeah.
But it became this weird, slow-paced dance.
I also forgot how much early superhero movies we're just destroying a block.
Oh yeah, we're
like I've gotten so used to Avengers and everything else where
like
we're destroying like half the city.
Yeah. No, it was straight up a block.
A block.
Superman got thrown into a Marlboro truck like 22 times. Coca-Cola, someone smashed a Coca-Cola bottle somewhere, a Diet Coke happened. And like it was just, this is where things truly got weird for me too, because during this whole session we got there, like, Non's still trying to figure out his laser eyes, and somehow they have pointing, like, telekinesis.
Yeah.
And please, in the comments, tell me where that one came from. I don't even want to look it up, but I want your comments to tell me how I missed that, because I'm sure I did somehow. But yeah,
I missed it too.
We just have telekinesis now.
Yeah.
Everyone's fighting, but, like, they're just weird fighting on the wires while they're flying, and someone
slow
kicks.
Fighting.
And again, for the time, I'll let that pass. I'm not calling that one out. It's just, again, watching the pacing of everything and how that all worked.
And it makes me go, oh, that's why everybody talks about how good the fights are in movies now.
Yeah, God, John Wick. I'm sorry. I just think about John Wick's fighting all the time.
Yeah.
Then Clark flies away. And there was a point where like every Metropolitan?
Person in Metropolis.
Like Clark's getting the shit beaten out of him. And they're like, oh no one messes with our Superman. And they all gather together and try and beat up these Kryptonians. And then
they can't because they breathe
on them. They have their super breath and they get blown away. Clark shows back up. They fight a little bit more and then they fly off.
Then he just leaves.
And then everyone's like, oh, Superman shit out.
Left us. He's a coward.
He's a coward. Come back here and fight. Superman didn't do shit.
And that's when Lex is finally like, oh no, we're going to the Fortress of Solitude. And it's just like, you couldn't have started there?
Then we get there. We get to the fortress.
Yeah.
And like Superman's there. He's like, this is not how you treat guests. Non flies at Superman and Superman peels off the cling wrap from his Super S or his shield, throws it at Non. And I'm like, Rose is right. It's magic. It's magic. We hit magic. And I forgot that right when it happened. I'm like, damn it, she was right. God damn, she is right. Because there's just this weird magic concept. Like, here's this. And then everyone starts like fighting for a little bit. And then Superman gets caught again.
Yeah. Like, this was very much a time when superpowers did not have rules.
Yeah. You know what? That's a great way to put it.
It was very much just, what's going to work for the script? What can we use? What kind of ex machina can we have to get them out of this situation? I'm going to be honest.
I never thought you are 100% right.
Yeah. Like, that's all that it was. Like, there were no rules. Like, when I started hearing about people creating rules for worlds and everything else, I was just like, wait, what? I was an adult.
What do you think was the first movie that created the rules?
Oh, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
It can't be that one, can it?
I feel like it might have been Lois and Clark.
Oh, no. I mean, I understand. Sorry, a broader sense. Like, when did we start? Like, hey, these are the established rules. Like, we have to make sure we have rules for our superheroes.
It might have also been more in the comics. I don't know.
And like, when did we like fully start like accepting that? Because I was like, was it Batman Begins? Where we're like, oh, you really like grounded
it might have been.
And like, okay, we have an established set of rules.
That might have been why Batman Begins was so good.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I was like, was it
There
X-Men?
will be a Batman movie.
I don't think it was X-Men.
No.
Neither here nor there. We get back on semi-schedule. We don't have a schedule here. We're just trying to fill time and have a good conversation.
I think we're overtime.
No, we're not. I've got it right there. I can see it.
Okay.
All right. So we have this happenstance happening, this ex machina of cling wrap being thrown on Non. Clark is fighting Zod for a little bit. They all have their super finger power, which that sounded weird coming out of my mouth, but I've said it, so don't even worry about it. And like, there's a shot.
And then the worst ex machina comes in.
I'll get to that ex machina. I'll get to that ex machina real fast. The worst shot in this whole film is watching the actress that played Ursa almost choke out Margot Kidder. Like, she looks like she's either in a lot of pain or enjoying it. I can't tell.
Who knows?
But I was like, oh, I don't know if that's a good thing. And then we get the worst ex machina ever because Lex is here and...
Oh, no. Not even that. Let's back up to where they start teleporting.
Oh, shit. That's right. Oh,
they all teleport. All of the Kryptonians teleport. Why?
I was okay.
Why? Okay. Like, you can't tell me that it's super speed because they actually lose track of each other.
Okay, I'll give you...
Like, it would be one thing if it was just Lex watching and suddenly Superman is here and then he's here because of super speed. But no, like, it's the point of view of the other Kryptonians and they're just like, oh.
That's true. I forgot, like, everyone was teleporting.
Everybody teleports.
And then Superman...
Again, there's no rules.
And Superman, I'll give a weird, like, pass on... That was a Fortress of Solitude thing, and he could activate some sort of crystal lasers. I don't know.
Lasers or holograms or whatever. Like, that one was weird but okay. But then everybody else teleports.
Yeah, the only person who didn't teleport was Lois.
Yeah.
But I have to watch that again now because did Ursa teleport? Because she was choking Lois.
Yeah.
So okay.
I think it was like after she.
Okay.
Like there were a few things that guys, this movie is a mess.
It's a mess. It's a fun mess. It's a popcorn mess.
Yes.
But it's a fun mess. Okay. That all said and done. We've got this point where Lex is talking to Superman going, I'm trying to get them into this capsule.
Superman is telling him.
Yeah, Superman's telling Lex that I'm trying to get into this capsule. This is what will zap them of their powers. This is what I did to bone Lois. He didn't say that part, but I'm assuming that's what they would have talked about. And then freaking Lex is like, put him in there. That's going to zap his powers. Yeah. And then he just flipped the switch.
And what's funny about this is immediately after Lex comes up to Superman and is just like, this is why I always liked you best because they lie to me, but you've always told me the truth. And then Superman lies to him.
Superman straight up lies to him. And you're like, okay. So we're going to just... The one of the one rules that you established in the first one, we're just going to throw that one out the window. Okay, cool beans. And then, after the Kryptonians, we do this. The Kryptonians lose their power. Superman still has his powers. And he kills Zod. Let me say that again. Superman kills Zod.
By throwing him into a pile of ooze.
Well, I throw him in just over the edge of... the Fortress of Solitude.
He's still in the fortress.
He's dead. Yeah. So is it because Henry Cavill snapped the neck of Zod? Is that what we're upset about? Because I'll fight a little bit. Superman in this movie, Superman 2, knocked Zod into a wall and he slid down a ledge and is probably dead.
I mean, same with Non and Ursa.
Non and Ursa, they're both dead. Even though Lois killed Ursa.
Yes, well, she
dodged out of the way, socked her, and did all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then everything's all back to normal.
Yeah.
And Superman's like going to the present, like, sorry I was gone for so long, it'll never happen again. And I was just like, okay, that's great. Sure.
Why not?
It just tied itself up so poorly.
Yeah.
And like just ex machina after ex machina after ex machina.
Yeah, and then the final bit where Lois is all upset because she can't have Superman anymore. Like, there's still no conversation about, hey, we can't be together.
Yeah, it's just I can't tell anyone.
It's just assumed that they can't be together. And she's having a really hard time. And then he kisses her and she forgets.
Why? Yeah, the kiss, like he wipes her memory from this kiss.
How?
Exactly what you said. It worked for the script.
Yeah, so it's magic.
Magic.
And it's just like, this could have been easily explained by just like, oh, he got some chapstick from the Fortress of Solitude that wipes humans' memories. Like, anything.
At the Daily Planet the following day, Clark kisses Lois. using his abilities to wipe her mind of the knowledge of the past few days. Later, he turns to the diner, where he got his ass beat.
Oh, yeah.
To get even with the guy who beat his ass. His name was Rocky. And,
that's some petty BS.
Yeah, that was petty BS. I was kind of okay with that, though. Be a little petty. Everyone, remember, a little pettiness. A little bit petty.
Superman. He's not supposed to be petty.
Well, he also isn't supposed to kill, and he killed Zod. He also, I guess, can't bone, but he decided that he wanted to bone.
You know what? You make a good point.
So I'm putting it in the context that it works for this podcast.
Sure.
So that's how we're going to do it. Rose, let's get through the last little bit.
Sure.
And we can have everyone get out of here. Give us, again, the rundown. The pop, the corn, and the kernel.
Okay, so the pop, the corn, and the kernel. So this is how we're rating special bits that we really liked, didn't like, and were indifferent on in the movie. So our pop is our positive highlight. This could be something positive that lives rent-free in your head, or like the idea or theme that came to full fruition and you love it. Some movies, this is going to be hard. For corn is an opportunity for improvement. So this is like the unpopped kernel. What could be done better? It's the bit that never popped, but it has that potential. The kernel is like the junk from popcorn that like gets stuck in your teeth and it's just like in there. It's irritating. It's something negative or just didn't go the way that you might have hoped. Things like that. So John, please tell me, what was are we starting at the top?
Yeah. Let's go with the kernel. Let's go.
What was your kernel?
Bad to good. Let's go bad to good.
Sure.
All right, I've got two. Mm-hmm. And this is nitpicky, but I'm going to be nitpicky because that's the kind of, I think we deserve to be nitpicky when we need to.
Sure.
Passes when we need to, but all in all, have a good time watching movies and all that stuff. I hated the sound mixing. I'm going to be that guy.
Oh my God.
I hated the sound mixing so
Thank God
bad.
for subtitles.
I couldn't understand anyone.
It was like Sonic bad.
Oh yeah, Sonic Adventure 2.
Adventure.
Yeah,
and Sonic Adventure 2. It was that levels of bad.
Awful. And I was just like, what are we doing? Like the subtitles really, really helped.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one more thing. I wanted to talk about this. I had my notes and I just kind of went off. I didn't even really touch my notes. Where the shit are the actual Kents? Like that's actually getting in my teeth now where it's upsetting me that there's no true balance of hometown Boy Scout.
No. He's just sending money home to his mom.
And I'm actually kind of like, I was kind of getting annoyed like through this whole movie. It was like, oh, when I found out who my real dad was, I'm like, bitch, Jonathan Kent raised your ass.
See, and this is the thing, like between these movies and Lois and Clark, like I had no idea that Martha Kent was still alive.
Right?
Like, until I watched Smallville, I did not think about him going back to Kansas.
Yeah.
There's no concept of that.
And I know it's for this movie, but like I'm really like the well-roundedness of Clark and Kal-El. And I know people get into arguments online of like Clark is his actual secret identity. It's not Kal-El and all this stuff. And I love those conversations. But the part that the kernel that actually gets into my teeth is there's no true concept of that balance.
Yeah.
There's no true storytelling of...
They weren't trying.
And they weren't trying because we want to show Superman. And I get that.
Like that was very much something that was explored in Smallville and nowhere else.
Yeah, before that, like Man of Steel did a decent job of that one too.
True.
And
But that was so much later.
That was so much later. And I think Superman Returns did a decent job. I haven't watched that one in a while.
We'll get there.
But the sound mixing and then this lack of actual balance of Clark and Kal-El. Yeah. That's really, really starting to get into me. Fair. How about you? Give me your kernel.
I have in all caps.
What is it?
Since when do Kryptonians have telekinesis?
Thank you very much.
So it's very much the powers and the unexplained powers.
All right. You're next. I'll give you the corn then.
Corn, Lex Luthor. I feel like he was underutilized in this movie, and I feel like he really could have had even a better part than what he had in Superman 1.
Okay.
But I feel like that could have been better.
Gotcha.
How about you? What was your
Lex
corn?
actually is a better call than mine. I just put Non.
Yeah.
I put Non because it could have been better, but I think it was just like, all right, you need the strong puppy dog. And I was like, all right, it works. And I'll be honest, I really couldn't think of anything when
that's fair.
I gut checked this.
Yeah.
Most of the time when we do the 2 times we've done this, I gut checked this. I'm like, what would I put? Like, hey, it could have been better, but you know what? It doesn't live rent free. But when I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I get you. That's fine. So I went with just Non as a character.
Oh no, rent free is usually going to be the pop, and the kernel.
Yeah.
Like so either of those. Like
Non was there, but
the corn is the stuff that's kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
And like you wish that it wasn't. We're still working on these definitions.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna have to give. I don't have any like point system on that one, but I have to give the point. I think Lex was so underutilized in this whole movie. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. That's a good call.
What was your pop?
I got the pop. It's cheap. I even wrote it down. It's cheap. It's Christopher Reeve. I'm sorry. That was like I was trying to find something that I like really enjoyed.
That wasn't the same as the first.
That wasn't the same as the first, but I was like, I can't do that. That's so hard that it's Christopher Reeve. It's looking into that man's eyes and really believing a man can fly and that it does do good for the world. And like there was just that again, those moments of like, all right, I do get it. It's just maybe it was a little more underutilized. Like he was the good of the world.
Yeah.
So
mine is kind of similar. But for me, what I put is Superman is still a stand-up guy and wants to do the best for people overall, minus the boning. The other thing that really hit me was at the end. When he did take away Lois's memories, like you could really kind of see in Christopher Reeve how much that hurt Clark as a person to just like lose that connection that he had. And like much as I don't like the decisions that led up to that point.
Respect the hell of that decision.
When he made that decision, it was just like, oh man, like she was about to get checked in somewhere for mental health. Like,
yeah, she was going a little crazy.
She was spiraling.
She was spiraling. She had all this.
And like, he decided to go ahead and give her a gift of not remembering.
Yeah.
And like, you could tell how much that hurt him.
I respect the hell out of that. Is a great freaking call.
Yeah.
That is a great freaking call.
So that's the pop for me.
That's the pop. Okay. Well, Rose, any final thoughts? You have it at a 5 on the CouchCapades rating scale, which is a meh and different. And I'm sitting at a 5.5. So in between okay and fine. And then
you know what? I'm going to go down to 4.5.
Really?
Yeah. After talking about all the stuff.
Okay.
And all the issues, like the actual issues that I have with the story.
Sure. Okay. Look, hey, we haven't stopped this podcast, so that is I think that is perfectly fair. Like
4.5. So in between bad and indifferent.
Okay. I'm at a 5. Or sorry, 5.5. So I think that's perfectly fair. I like this fluidity of this rating system as we're talking it through, because some things we miss and we're like, oh, you know what? And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, you're influencing each other. I'm like, well, this is a conversation that we're having. We're also not on any websites that actually like care or matter. Yeah. This is just our effing opinion, so get wrecked.
This is just us giving our opinions, guys.
All right. Any other final thoughts?
No, I think we got it.
Are you excited for Superman 2, the Donner Cut?
I remember really enjoying a lot of things about the Donner Cut, so I'm excited to see it again for like the second time in my life. How about you?
Same. I remember going, holy shit. It was
such
almost
a better movie.
It was almost that holy shit moment of like I Am Legend, watching the director's cut of I Am Legend, where I'm like, why didn't we put that movie out? That was a much better movie.
That would be a fun season. Theatrical versus director's cut.
That is in a list somewhere in our templates of like that's.
I feel like we've done that a few times.
Yeah,
we've talked about
it. Yeah, that's definitely one.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are the absolute best. We will see you in 2 weeks for Superman 2, the Richard Donner Cut, here on A Side of Popcorn. But you know what? We have so much more CouchCapades content specifically for you. If you're not into movies, hey, that's cool. Don't worry about it. We have video game stuff 6 days a week, actually, because we have a podcast called Now to Play, where my buddy, or our buddy Finn, and I are playing through Pokemon Red and Blue, the OGs. It is a Nuzlocke. Things are going to get worse because we will be in Cerulean City. Yes. I had to think about that's Misty's gym. That should be okay. Yeah, that's Misty's gym. I had to think if that was the right one. If you're not into that, God, but I hope you are, because we really love our podcast and we're having a fun time. I hope you're watching along with us or playing along with us. We also have the Let's Plays 5 days a week. And then we have our other podcast on Thursdays where we're just hanging out talking with all of you guys, whether it's about the content we're doing, your day, our day.
Which for the most part is recorded live on Wednesday evenings.
Wednesday evenings, it's live. So jump in on youtube.com/CouchCapades. Nope, @/CouchCapades.
@CouchCapades.
Or on twitch.tv/CouchCapades. Or if you're not into the live thing and want to just listen to us, it's going to be on podcast services the next day on Thursday mornings.
Also on YouTube.
And on YouTube. Yep, we got you all covered. Yeah. We want to be where you are. We are building CouchCapades for you and with you. So in the comments, let us know what you think about Superman 2. Let us know again what other seasons we need to do of A Side of Popcorn. And you know what? If you're listening on podcast services, thank you so much. Like, rate, subscribe, follow, do all that fun stuff. And we appreciate you. We will see you in 2 weeks. I don't know why. 2 weeks. We love you guys. See you later.